welcome you all for today's IYS session. So the speaker of the day is Her Grace Shubashri Lalitha. So, little introduction, brief introduction about her. She has given IYS session before. Still, uh, I'd like to introduce her to you all. So she is one of the senior most member of IYS. She is a periodontist as well as a lecturer at Dr.Ramachandra Medical University, and she has done her bachelor in dentistry in Ragas Dental College in Chennai, and she has done her mastery course in dentistry in Dr. Ramachandra University, and she is a gold medalist and a university topper. So we are very, very happy to have an intellectual person amongst us today. So she's a very intelligent and a charming person. She's kind, loving, and very warm person to connect with. She's very brilliant and an eloquent speaker and a very beautiful singer. So and we are very fortunate to have her amongst us today. She will be speaking on consistency amidst chaos, something that we all need in this chaotic condition. We find ways to remain consistent, to be determined to what our principles are. So I hope it will be very useful session for all of us. And IYS, as you know, like we are conducting such sessions like attending to issues, contemporary topics we take that are faced by the girls' day-to-day life. So the challenges and how to overcome. So we find solution from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, so from our Vedic scriptures. So in case you're not part of our group, so I will be sharing the links for WhatsApp and Telegram, so you can join us in case you're not part. So I would like to know if there is anybody who is attending for the first time, like IYS session. If you can raise your hand, in case if this is your first IYS session. No, so you have been attending before. Okay, Menaka. So this is your first IYS session. Would you like to unmute and speak? Like, how did you come in touch?
Because of Sukriti Mataji, I come to know IYS. Last time I attended Glories of Guru Maharaj. And now this is the open topic. Now I am attending this consistency amidst Chakos, because I really needed consistency. How to follow up, how to follow the Krishna conscious. Also, I need consistency, because sometimes my mind, due to my overload work, I'm working also. So due to my overload work, I'm not able to. No, my mind is saying I'm not able to follow up. I'm not able to give up to 100% of Krishna conscious. But I really I want to give and do 100%. But sometimes due to my workload, I can't able to do it. That time I am getting fluctuation, and that pressure I am showing to my family members. So I want to do consistency in all my work. I want to do my day-to-day work, like our routine work. If I didn't go for work, I am not able to get bread. So that is important for me. At the same time, I want to give importance for my soul also. I don't want to come for the next janam. So for that I need Krishna. I want to surrender myself to Krishna. I don't want to come back in this world. So for this reason I need this class. So I joined today.
So yes, so hope it will be very useful for all of us. So let us hear from Shubashri Lalitha Mataji. So it's late already. So yes, if you can start off with this session. Thank you,
पदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Am I audible? I mean, is my voice clear?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. I would first like to thank IYS for giving me this opportunity. So like how Menaka was saying, I hope this topic would be helpful, because this was a much needed topic for myself, for my own understanding, for my own purity. That's why I requested if I could speak on this, so that it be useful for me to improve in my own personal life and personal spiritual life. So today we will see why consistency is very important, what is the power of consistency in spiritual life, and what are the different practical tips and suggestions we can see in order to improve our consistency in our day-to-day practice. Okay, this is what we are going to see in today's session. So why is it very important to be consistent? So what, if you can still do one thing today and then skip a couple of days and not do? Just 1 second, there is some disturbance. Just give me 1 minute. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for the interruption. Extremely sorry. Am I audible again?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I was speaking on why is consistency important in our day-to-day practice. Why is it important? So basically, anything in life which we value are generally products of consistency, whether it is success, health, fitness, wealth, friendships, relationships, anything for that matter. Consistency is very, very important. For example, we go to a restaurant and our friend says that, come to this restaurant, the food is really good. And you go on day one, you're like, okay, your friend had suggested this place and you go. And day one, the food is very good. They say paneer tikka in this place is very, very good. So you should try. So you go try paneer tikka on day one and you like it. And you go refer your friends. Then what happens later on? Then 2 weeks later or probably a month later, there is again you feel like going to that place and trying out that dish, but the dish is not of the standard of how you had tasted it the first time. So immediately immediate impression of what happens is like, oh, it's not that good, right? So it's very, very important that we are consistent and maintain the standard every single day. Okay, so even if it is only 0.1% improvement, it is okay, but we should never decline or we should never stop showing up. Every single day we got to show up, get up from our bed, show up no matter what, if we have to achieve success in anything. So basically consistency is important even more than perfection. Okay, we might not be perfect, but consistency is very, very important. So according to science, so what does science say? Okay, so they say that if you perform an activity repeatedly every single day, first it goes to the cellular memory. Okay, then you continue to keep doing it. Then it goes to the subconscious activity. So it basically goes to your subconscious mind. Like for example, initially when you start driving, you got to be really conscious, right? You have to see whether you're, let it be a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. So you have to be more stable. You have to see whether you're balancing. Then you have to see whether there is vehicles coming in the opposite side. So if you want to turn right, turn left, you got to see the mirror. So there are so many things which you got to do when you want to drive. True, right? So, but later on, as you keep driving, what happens? The same activity becomes subconscious. Like you would have noticed, like for example, initially we all start with two-wheeler, then we go to four-wheeler. Like the initial time we keep thinking, oh, I have to see this, I have to see that. But over the course of time, when you have been driving for so many years, it becomes natural for you. Like you don't have to take necessary efforts to see whether the mirror, whether there's a vehicle coming this side, is my clearance fine, will my vehicle go in that small gap. All that you don't have to necessarily see, right? Because it becomes natural and the activity becomes very efficient. So that is why consistency is very, very important. Like what I was telling you, consistency is even more important than perfection. None of us are perfect, right? So perfection is something which we achieve over a period of time when you repeatedly keep practicing something. You got to practice. Talent is one thing, okay, but perfection is another thing, and success is another thing, okay? Even if you're talented, even if you're very, very talented, and if you don't practice a skill on a daily basis, that skill seems to wean out from you. Okay, that's what happens. So that is why consistency is more important than perfection. So the topic, like what we discussed today, was consistency amidst chaos. So you might be thinking, why they are saying consistency amidst chaos? So I would like to ask a simple question. Okay, we are how many of us? Just 16 of us, right? So I think we will have some time. So how many of you all were so eager when you were small kids to become big, like in a sense to grow up faster? And how many of you all wanted to get into adult life quickly? Can you all please unmute and answer? Okay, Lalita is saying yes. Okay, anybody else who wanted to really grow fast and become adult? Because all of us wanted, right? Because there was, I mean, as a kid, you got to listen to your parents, you listen to teachers, and you look at adults and see, wow, they have so much freedom. They get to spend however they want. They have money. They can lead their life however they want. And we all wanted to grow up older, faster, like enter into adulthood and become independent faster. But as adults, how do we feel once we become an adult, right? So when you become an adult only, you realize the n number of responsibilities which falls on your head. Okay, so you don't have your parents anymore to give you your pocket money. There's nobody to tell you that, you got to do this at this particular time. There's nobody to do your laundry. There's nobody to cook food for you. There's nobody to take care of you when you're sick. In fact, as you grow more older, the responsibility becomes more, right? I mean, even once you become a parent, then you have another child to look after. Forget yourself, right? You got to look after a child and you have to do so many other things, right? So adult life is not at all easy. But as a child, we all thought adult life is so cool. We're like, wow, look at my sister, look at my brother. She gets to go whatever time she wants to and all that. But once we become adult, now I feel, oh my God, how I wish I was a small child. My mother used to do everything for me. Right? My father used to take care of everything. Like there is no to-do list, right? Except for finishing your homework, going to school on time and coming back, studying. I mean, apart from that, there were not major commitments, major responsibilities. None of us had, right? Our life used to be so much simpler, right? As you grow older, I mean, we think you get, as much as you get freedom to do things, you get more responsibilities also, right? So you have so many things to do in your life that you finally don't find time, to do most of the things which you want to do, like, or which you thought you will be doing. So there is this battle of busy schedule. I want to do this, I want to do that. I mean, simple example, they all say that, take time for your health, make sure that you go for a walk. How many of us are able to do something as simple as going for a walk, right? It becomes so tough because there's so much this material life. We all keep running. Once you study, you start working, and then to improve your skill again, you go for another course. Then you get married. Then children come. So and you have to take care of the children. So the number of things which we try to fit in our day-to-day life, right? on a daily basis, there are so many, right? So in that thing, there are so many important priorities which get missed out or get ignored, right? We are like, okay, today I have had enough. I didn't find time. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, today I found something else coming. I will do it tomorrow. So this procrastination keeps coming. Laziness is one thing, but because we have too many things to do, we easily procrastinate because we don't have time. We all of us at the end of the day have only 24 hours, right? So we got to do what we have to do only in those 24 hours, right? So that is why there is this constant battle, like which is important. Is this important to do today, or if this is not important? Can I procrastinate it tomorrow, or should I do it today itself? Okay, so ultimately it is the game of priorities. What we think is important, that's what we do. So it's very, very important to get our priorities right. It's very important to declutter our head. It's very important to declutter our mind as well. So that is normal day-to-day life, right? Normal activities, we have so many things to do. Then comes the main thing, that is, apart from our normal activities, we also have a lot of obstacles, hurdles, which keep coming our way. Like there could be a serious illness, there could be a financial loss, there could be a death of a near and dear one, so many things, or relationships can break. So all these are really tragic. It really pushes you off balance. That time, as simple as even brushing your teeth, which you do every single day since the time you had teeth in your mouth, you find it difficult. You know, you don't want to even get up from your bed and do when such things happen. So obstacles keep coming your way. Either you fall sick or somebody in your house falls sick. You know, so many things. Apart from a normal day-to-day life, even these obstacles keep coming, which actually do not let us be consistent in our routine, right? This keeps happening in our lives. Okay? So we saw how chaotic our adult life is because we are in Kali Yuga, we have lesser lifespan and lesser opportunities. So we have very limited time. And that is why our adult life is very chaotic because we over-endeavor. We want so many things. Like I want a car, I want a house, I want to go for a vacation, I want to also be fit, I want to do so many things, right? Because we try to do so many things, we end up not becoming master of anything. And we have so many material desires, right? We keep trying, we fall off the wagon. So what is more important, we forget. Because we're constantly running behind all those over-endeavoring material desires. So we lose track. So that happens. That is why I call our adult life chaotic. Very, very chaotic because we have, more number of desires. And so we keep running behind those desires, ultimately end up making our life extremely chaotic. So what happens if consistency in Krishna consciousness is lost, right? So for example, for us, Krishna consciousness means loving devotional service means sadhana, right? Our daily bhakti is determined by the sadhana we do. That is chanting of the holy names, hearing and chanting the holy names, hearing the glories of holy names. This is what we do when we say bhakti for us, because we are all sadhana bhaktas. So for us, devotional service means this day-to-day life. Our sadhana is what determines us. So why should we become consistent in our devotional service? Why should we become consistent in our sadhana? Sadhana is everything. So we become what we want to be by consistently being what we want to become each day. So if you want to become a devotee, you got to be a devotee every single day. You got to practice your sadhana every single day. So it is not, life is a preparation. The entire life is a preparation and death is the examination. So if we have to pass the final exam called death, you got to practice every single day. We would have heard our parents tell, no, don't please practice in the last minute. Don't prepare in the last minute. Keep, make sure that you split your portions throughout the year and don't overload, and then only you'll be successful. This is something which we've always heard, right? This holds true for every single thing. That is why I said at the start of the presentation, consistency is very important for all the things which are very valuable in our life. Let it be success, health, fitness, relationship. even more in bhakti. Consistency, it's very, very important. So if we want to become a devotee, we have to behave like a devotee every single day. So we can't afford to skip. So this is a very beautiful verse from Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Savai pumsam karo dharmo yato bhaktir adokshade ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprashidati. The supreme occupation, that is the dharma for all humanity, is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So here it's said in Bhagavatam that our most important duty or job or work or responsibility of this entire human mankind is to perform bhakti, that is loving devotional service to the Lord. So how should your devotional service be? Two main important things. That is, one, it should not be motivated. You should not have any ulterior motive. It is not business dealing. It's not like, Krishna, I'll do service for you, you do this for me. That's not that. Okay. And most important, very relevant to our topic, uninterrupted. So uninterrupted means what? Consistently doing devotional service so that you satisfy the Lord, and you satisfy the Lord, you automatically get satisfied. This is like a very, very, very important sloka from Bhagavatam. That is why our success mantra will be consistency in endeavors and purity in intent. So their uninterrupted service. How do we achieve uninterrupted service? When we are consistent in our service, when we are consistent in our efforts. Unmotivated, that's why. So when your thoughts, when your intent, when your purpose is pure, when it's unmotivated, both these put together will help you succeed in performing the supreme duty of the mankind, that is devotional service. And moving on to this next beautiful concept, this was said by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu says that our bhakti is like a creeper. He calls it Bhakti Lata creeper, right? So for the Bhakti Lata creeper to grow, any plant for that matter, you need the seed, right? You need the seed, you need a soil, and you need water and sunlight. That's when the seed will sprout, germinate, sprout, come out of the ground level and start growing. So similarly in bhakti, the seed is given by Guru and Krishna, and it is being planted inside the heart. That is our soil. So what is the soil? The soil has to be fertile. Okay, how will your heart come fertile? Soil be good or conducive for growth? Only when you are free of lust, anger, greed. Okay, only then your soil is fertile. If you're constantly envious of somebody, you're constantly finding faults with somebody, you constantly irritate somebody, then your heart is not fertile enough for that bhakti lata to grow. Okay, and the most important, again, the most relevant is once it comes out, or for any of this to matter, watering the seed plant regularly is very, very important. That water is our sadhana. The water is our hearing and chanting of holy names. Unless you do the watering every single day, our plant will not grow. It's very, very simple. Like if we leave the plant, if we go for a vacation and you don't get to, water your plants for 4-5 days, look at the effect on the plants. We see, right? They are drooping, they are dried out, they look so sad, right? It's because it's lack of water. Right? It's completely not doing what is required for the nourishment of your soul. We don't do. So only when the soul gets nourished, the Bhakti Lata creeper will grow. So that is why you got to water consistently. You got to hear and chant consistently. You got to read Prabhupada books consistently. That is when a Bhakti Lata creeper will grow beautifully and reach Golok Vrindavan. So one thing, like at least in material life, you can say that, if you don't be consistent, you will not be successful. But then they might not tell the drawbacks of not being consistent. But in Krishna consciousness, you don't be consistent. Yes, you try out your Bhakti-lata Kripa, but there are also other ill effects of being inconsistent. Okay, Maya is waiting every single second. Maya is waiting. The moment we slacken, we are giving space for Maya to enter our lives. So if we don't be consistent, we are giving more and more opportunities for Maya Devi to attack us. So this sadhana is our protective shield. Okay, that is what is going to protect us from Maya's onslaught continuously. Okay, so the moment we slacken a bit, forget being successful in our devotional service, we will go back. Okay, there is Sukirti Mataji used to always tell, in devotional service, there is nothing called being stable or being in the same place, right? You either go up or you fall down. So there is no status quo. Like you constantly, you keep practicing, you slowly improve. But it's not like, okay, I will remain stable. I'll do the same thing which I used to do. It's okay. There's nothing called stagnancy. You either go up or you fall down or you come down. Okay. So in order to protect ourselves from the onslaught of Maya, we got to be very, very consistent. Then, of course, the obstacles we were telling, right? In normal life, only we find so many obstacles. But the obstacles which are faced in a non-devotee's life and obstacles which are faced by a devotee are very different. Okay? Obstacles in a non-devotee's life is karma. But obstacles in a devotee's life, Krishna says, those are tests which he gives, or opportunities which he gives for us to take more shelter of his lotus feet. There is a lot of difference which how a non-devotee sees an obstacle and a devotee, Krishna devotee, sees an obstacle. So the more we see obstacles, those are opportunities for us to hold lotus feet of Krishna more tighter, more firmer. Okay, so they are not to stop us from doing what we were doing for Krishna. They are actually opportunities provided by Krishna for us to come more closer to Krishna. So obstacles in a way are very positive. Obstacles in a way are blessing in disguise. Krishna says, okay, your life is all smooth and nice. What is so great about you coming to me? I mean, what is so great about you doing devotional service, right? I will jolt your life a little bit. Let me see if you still remember me. Let me see if you still continue your seva towards me. Let me see if you still chant my holy names. Let me like shake your ground. That is what Krishna says. Right? No matter what, are you willing to hold on to me? That is true, right? Like we always say, through thick and thin, in any relationship format for that matter, we always say it's nice to, or it is ideal to maintain, I mean, it is easier to maintain a relationship when everything is normal or everything seems fine or your routine is fine, everything. But when there is a crisis happening in your life, that time to maintain your relationship, that time to maintain your sanity, that is the real test, right? So we can be nice to people when we are in a good mood. But when we are in a bad mood, irritated, frustrated, depressed by ourselves on our own, imagine if somebody comes to you and says, oh, okay, I want, hear me or listen to me. How many of us have that strength, to still be nice to them? To still think that relationship is important. Or what we'll do, we'll be frustrated and shout at them, right? But imagine our parents. No matter what, one simple example, I'm not comparing, but simple example. No matter what, okay, no matter what, how difficult their life is, they never stop doing what they do, what they used to do for us. Do they stop feeding us? Do they stop providing us? No, right? They never do that. Or do they stop taking care of us? The responsibilities which they had towards us, they always continue to do. Okay, no matter what obstacles they can come by their way. Like they could be extremely sick, they would still arrange some way or the other, they will try to do. That's because they love us from the core of the bottom of our heart. Right? They love us so much that they don't want to let go of what they were doing for us, because they hold that relationship very important. They hold you very dear. They consider you very dear, right? So like that, if we consider Krishna very, very dear, then we will never give up Krishna's service. So that is what Krishna will say. When you have a crisis in your life, are you thinking of me? Are you still performing devotional service to me? Okay, so that is why obstacles in bhakti are actually blessing in disguise, are opportunities to grow closer. Also, there are certain, Mahaprabhu again says, for a true devotee, there are 26 qualities. Okay. So there are a list of 26 qualities. I'm not reading out all of that. I'm sure most of you will know. Out of that, something which is very relevant to today's topic is the quality 50, which I've highlighted, steady. Steady is what? That is your steadily perform your devotional service. How do you steadily perform your devotional service? Only if you're consistent in your devotional service. So that is a very, very important quality of a great devotee. I'm not saying, Mahaprabhu is saying. Amongst all, he also says, if you want to be steady, then you got to be consistent. So we will see few examples of such great devotees who were very, very consistent. So if you speak about consistency, I think the first person who should flash across our head will be our Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. Okay, he is somebody who chanted 3 lakh names of Krishna every single day. Not even a single day has he missed out. It's not like Haridas Thakur had a very smooth life. He also would fall sick. He also had the amount of obstacles and difficulties that Muslim king gave him. Enormous. It's impossible to thrive. Still he did. And then there's this one lady who's coming to attract him and allure him and all that. But still, he was so steady. He was like, I will chant my holy names. Seeing him, she also, the person who came to, distract him, the lady, also started chanting the holy names. That is the purity of that person. That's the purity of the holy name, purity of the person, and the purity of his intent. Okay, so somebody, consistency, the first and the best example which we can think of is our Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, born in a Muslim family, went through so many hurdles, but still stuck. The time when he became very, very old, and then he thought that he won't be able to chant the holy name, he actually went and told Mahaprabhu, please take my life. I don't want to live a single day where I don't chant 3 lakh names. So that is his level of consistency in performing his devotional service. Okay. Next, and this is a sweet pastime, right? All of us will know Shubashri. So Shubashri is this old lady, right? So Shubashri was Shubashri's guru actually told Shubashri, Shubashri, you wait, and there will be a time where Lord Ram will come with his consorts, and you will be able to serve Lord Ram. So Shubashri is already an old lady. So every single day, she will wake up, get up, go to the forest, pick up berries, fruits, flowers, wash them, clean them, keep it ready, thinking that Lord Ram will come. Day 1 she'll do, day 2 she'll do, day 3 she'll do. Lord Ram doesn't come. So what we will do? Oh, anyway, Rama is not coming. Today my legs are paining. It's okay. We will take rest today, right? Naturally, right? Because it happens, because we don't know when Lord Ram will come. We don't know when we will be able to see Krishna in reality. That's our problem, right? With the material eyes, we are not able to see Krishna in person because we don't have that vision. So it's very difficult to live with that hope, or it is difficult to live with the hope that, that if I perform devotional service continuously, that one day I will see Krishna. Like, we all want to believe that. I mean, we all know that is the truth, but practicing or implementing it on a day-to-day basis, thinking Krishna will come today, Krishna will be able to see Krishna in person. I mean, we'll be able to feel the real devotional service, everything. But then Shubashri was not like that. She's like, how many days she would have been disappointed thinking Lord Ram will come, but Lord Ram did not come because that was not the right time. So there was, despite being a very, very, very old lady, she would still walk into the forest, pick up. That's her consistency. Pick up prasad, pick up fruits, berries, and come and wait for him. So that's how beautiful. But then how wonderfully Lord Ram also reciprocated. So Krishna always reciprocates. Lord Ram always reciprocates. He knows. She's like my mother. You know, she used to bite and give, right? And even Lakshman used to feel very offended. It's like, why my brother has to eat these chuta berries, chuta fruits? But Lord Ram was like, no, that's her love. That's her love for me. So he also so beautifully reciprocated. Even for Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu loved Haridas Thakur like anything. So when you're consistent in your devotional service, Krishna definitely reciprocates in the form of Krishna or Lord Ram or like Mahaprabhu in any avatar. There is not a single example in the history, in the face of earth, where a devotee has been so consistent, sincere in their devotional service and Lord has not reciprocated. Or Lord is also equally wonderful. Like how wonderful the devotee, the Lord is also wonderful. Because we mirror what Lord has, right? So the qualities of what is there in Lord, at least a little percentage we will all have if you practice devotional service wonderfully. And our great heroic example, Prabhupada, he waited patiently for the real mission. Okay, so many obstacles came by his way. I mean, his family was not very pro-Krishna conscious, like his wife and children. They were not as driven like how he was, but he never gave up. It's like, you all do what you want, but I will still do what I believe, what my guru told me. I will follow my guru's instructions. Like there was a time where his business really crashed. Even then, he would never compromise in his daily devotional activities. Nothing. That was his pre-ISKCON era. Then the actual ISKCON era, Prabhupada used to sleep only for 3 hours a day. Only 3 hours a day. The rest of the day, he would still dictating, writing purports. He used to wake up so early, finish his japa. And every single day, he used to follow strictly, very religiously follow that routine. Because he did not want to waste even a single second. You know, he didn't want to waste his time sleeping. He wanted to utilize. The 3 hours sleep also is like, I'm sure he must be thinking, okay, that is the bare requirement for the body to thrive. If not for that, he wouldn't have slept even for those 3 hours. Only for, you know, that body is to serve Krishna. So I have to take care of the body. So I need to sleep for 3 hours. I'm sure he must have slept even only for 3 hours, only for that. So many obstacles came by. At the age of 70, traveling in one cargo ship, having heart attacks after heart attack, was just like hardly any, I think 30 rupees or 60 rupees, I'm not exactly sure, would land up in one of the biggest cities in the country, sorry, in the world, and have no idea who these people are, what they do, what they eat, nothing. All he knew was, my guru asked me to go preach in the West. So I have to, if I have to go, then I have to face all this. So Krishna, I will do. You take care of me. That's all. He was very, very consistent as a devotee, whether it's sadhana bhakti, or his exemplary, revolutionary activity which he performed. Any of that, he was very, very consistent. He never gave up. He never gave up any single day. Then these are these wonderful Pujari brothers. There are few who are new also, right? So these two brothers are twin brothers. They are Prabhupada disciples. So when they were young and when they joined the movement itself, Prabhupada said that Prabhupada identified these two will be future pujaris in our main Mayapur temple. Like Prabhupada could, you know, visualize that or vision that. And they are such wonderful twin brothers, Pankajangri Prabhu and Janivas Prabhu. And they were, Prabhupada personally told them that they have to be the head pujaris and they have to do the daily seva in Mayapur temple. And you will not believe, they would never leave Mayapur. For 35 years or more than 35 years, they would just, only because they wouldn't want to miss that even one day of deity seva for the deities. So that was their major concern. Like, for example, I am not sure how many of you all are aware of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He is again one more beautiful, wonderful guru, okay, in ISKCON. And then he takes, he takes care of the Bombay zone and all that. And they had built a temple in Chowpatty, and there are beautiful deities in Chowpatty, Radha Gopinath deities. So Maharaj wanted these two brothers to come and visit the temple, see the deity, see how things go, and wanted them to give their expert advice and all that. He would call repeatedly. They'll say, "Yeah, we'll come, we'll come, we'll come, we'll come," but they never had the heart to leave Mayapur. They never had the heart to leave, the temple. Okay, so they will hardly step out. They are from the America. I mean, now Mayapur is again very comfortable for Westerners to live. But the days when they came was very difficult. Hardly any buildings, no water supply. I mean, no water supply through pipes and all. Electricity was not there. No great built structures, no comfortable rooms or ashrams, nothing. So when it was very primitive, when there was no great establishment in Mayapur, that time only they joined. Since then, they were very, very consistent in their devotion service. Unfortunately, we lost one of them due to COVID. It's a big loss, very, very big loss. It's very sad to see the two brothers without one of them. It's very, very sad, because if you think of Radha Mother, the next person you will think of are these two brothers. It's synonymous. You cannot separate the deities and these two Pujari brothers. They were so consistent. That's why Maharaj also once said, choose to spend time in ways that enrich our hearts and souls. So we will have so many activities in a day which we have to do, responsibilities which you have to do, but you got to spend time on things which actually nourish our soul. So what nourishes our soul is Krishna's service. What nourishes our soul is our sadhana. What nourishes our soul is hearing and chanting of our holy names. That's why it's very, very important. So basically, consistency equals commitment and priority. So if you are committed, you will be consistent. If you are not committed, consistency slackens. So if you are committed to Krishna, we will definitely show up to him every single day. So it is equivalent. They are synonymous. They are no different. That's why I was giving you an example of our parents. Right? They're very committed to us. They're very committed to taking care of us. That is why they're always consistent in showering their love, affection. Of course, all of us have difference of opinion with our parents and all that. But when we need, they're always there. Whatever they used to do, they always keep doing because they're committed. So that happens even in a husband and wife relationship. Only when you are committed, you will be consistent in any responsibility or any activity. If you don't feel that commitment, it's okay. It's okay tomorrow. What's the big deal? It's okay. We chant tomorrow. Today I'll do 10 rounds. Tomorrow I'll do 5 rounds. Okay. It's okay. Tomorrow I have to go for a movie. I don't have time. So I will do 2 rounds. The next day I will do 16 rounds. Because we are not committed. We are not committed. That's the problem. If we are committed to Krishna, we will. Next most important thing, priority. If our bhakti is a priority, we will be consistent. We have so many things, right? We have to go to the job, we have to cook, we have to take care of the house, we have to do deity seva, we have to do chanting, so many things. So we have so many to do things. In that to do things, we only have to encircle or highlight the ones which are of top priority. If our bhakti is of top priority, we will naturally be more consistent. So if we are not being consistent, the problem is we are not putting our bhakti ahead of all the other things. We are not giving bhakti the topmost priority. That is why consistency equals commitment, consistency equals priorities. So how to be more consistent? These are simple things which I just jotted down, which I thought will help me and will help all of us. First of all, identify that you are faulty. First, we should realize that we are not consistent. No, if you don't realize, because they say, no, in Tamil, முதல்ல நீ பண்ற தப்பே உனக்கு தெரியலன்னா அப்ப எப்படி தப்பு பண்றேன்னு தெரியும். How can you correct? அதானே சொல்லலாம். நீ தப்பு பண்றேனே உனக்கு புரியல, அப்ப எப்படி நீ கரெக்ட் பண்ணிப்ப? அது யூசுவலா we hear from our parents, everybody who's giving advice. What will first you have to identify that they are not consistent. If you don't identify that they are not consistent, we can never analysis of the situation is very important. Once you identify, acceptance that you have faltered is very important. Next step. That is why I said let go of your ego. If your guide, if your mentor is telling you that you are faltering, you are not matching up to your standards which is required, don't resist, don't defend. Okay, of course everybody will have an explanation, including me. So many times I'm like, gee, I had this to do, so I could not do this. All of us have. It's okay to give an explanation, but accept what they are saying wholeheartedly, because they are our well-wishers and they are just trying to help us. So if you let your ego go and understand the intent and purpose of what they are saying, accept that you're faltering, then it is easier. Once you accept your problem, it is easier to find a solution. Next, set simpler practical goals. So if you've been chanting like 4 rounds, don't immediately jump to 16 rounds. I mean, for me, I'm saying there are certain people who will be able to, but if you find it difficult to be consistent, keep smaller goals. Like Mataji always used to say, keep Ekadasi as your, time limit. So until next Ekadasi, I will do 6 rounds. Then from the next Ekadasi onwards, I will add 2 more, 8 rounds. I'm talking about the ones who have not, come up to 16 rounds. The ones who already started 16 rounds, no concession. You got to do 16 rounds. That is, in fact, olden days, 64 rounds was the criteria. Prabhupada felt merciful on us, thinking these people in Kali Yuga will find it difficult. He reduced and made it 16. Right. So keep simpler goals, set simpler targets. Okay, at least half an hour of reading. So many rounds of chanting. Okay, that we have to do. And then constantly again review. Step up. Increase. That's how we can go to the next level and finally reach Krishna. So there are certain practical tips I think will help all of us. First, one thing is we all have something called Sadhana Card, right? How many of you all are aware that there's something called Sadhana Card? So this is a Sadhana Card. I'm sorry I was not able to take the full. It is an Excel sheet. I could not take the whole thing as a screenshot. I have limited technical abilities. So in that Sadhana Card, it will note down your details of your sadhana which you do every single day. The number of rounds you chant, the timing you chant, how much time you spent in reading Prabhupada books, and did you do Tulsi Aarti, then did you offer to Krishna, did you attend lectures, so like that. Okay, so that sadhana card is very, very important. I was telling you, right, identify that you're faltering. Your sadhana card will help you. If you sincerely fill your sadhana card, you will be able to identify that that will show, no, you have a record. Now nobody has to tell. We ourselves will know that won't lie, because we only have filled it. Right. Then we faltered. We're not able to follow. And go to your seniors. Go to the people who have been guiding you. Take guidance from them. That's why I said, let go of your ego. Accept, don't defend. Please accept and take their valuable suggestions on how to improve, how to become better. That is why association is very, very important, Krishna consciousness. Very, very important. Okay? And spend time with your fellow devotee friends. So when it is natural, no? I mean, even in material life, if few of your friends feel like going for a swimming class, you also feel like joining for a swimming class. If they think that, doing or developing a habit, oh, okay, I will learn some, crochet or whatever, gardening or something, it is natural, because when you spend time with people, you tend to imbibe their vibes. So you spend more time with fellow devotee friends who are more regular with sadhana, who are more committed to their sadhana. You will naturally imbibe the vibe, and you will also take inspiration from them. So that's an easy thing. Like it happens for me also. Whenever I feel low and I'm not weak, all I have to do is to spend time with my seniors or spend time with my friends. So either of them will definitely, you know, directly or indirectly inspire. So that's like a real boost. Association is everything in Krishna consciousness. Then one more thing is fix a specific time of the day for your sadhana. If you allot this time, okay, 6 to 7, no matter what, I will have. If you have a timetable, okay, if 6 to 7 is for my chanting, I will chant at least 7 rounds in the morning. It's not 16. I'm talking for the ones who are attending school, college, and also working or something, who might not have time to entirely do 16 rounds in the morning in one shot. I'm talking in the ones who are able to do amazing. I find it really difficult because I got to get up early, cook, then I have to feed my son and all that. So I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying in that way, but at least if I fix one time, 6 to 7, I would like to stick to that time. And I know that time is for Krishna only. Okay, so for reading, you stick to a time. For chanting, stick to a time. And make sure that you don't do anything else in that time. That way you'll have time for the other things in your life. And you will have time for Krishna also. Like there is an amazing devotee in Chennai congregation. I don't know how many of you all know his Grace Ranga Krishna Prabhu. So he's an amazing devotee. Okay, every day, every single day in the morning, he'll get up at the Brahma Muhurta time and complete his 16 rounds, and then only do anything else. There is not a single day where he has missed. And he runs a very, very super busy and super famous catering service. So there was one time, I'm just giving an example. It's very inspiring. That's why I would like to share this example. So there was this time where there were orders, and the team which was supposed to go for that particular event did not turn up. So from the event side, the people who had made that order or booked him are calling him. Okay, and trying to say that we've not got, and it's time for his chanting also. So he tried to arrange for another team, all that before. When it was time, 4 o'clock came. Imagine if it was any one of us, what we will do. We'll be like, okay, I'll chant later. I'll first go figure out what to do. Because it will jeopardize his name, jeopardize all the reputation he has gained all the years. Right? But what he did, Prabhu just switched off his phone and left. And he went to go chant. That's all. Because he had so much faith in Krishna, so much faith in holy names. 2.5 hours, people started calling, kept calling. Not reachable. Switched off. Then, by Krishna's mercy, his other alternative team on their own went to that place. Cooking started happening, things started happening, and everything fell in place. By the time he completed his japa and switched on the phone, everything was sorted, problem solved. But that's the purity of the devotee, right? Purity of the devotee, the consistency of his efforts, not willing to let go of his japa time for anything. So like that, please specifically, if not 4 o'clock, if you find it very hard, if you stay up late in the night, I mean, as much as possible, try to sleep early, then you'll be able to wake up early, and then you will be able to chant better. Okay, when we think that there's whole day, I will finish my rounds before going to sleep, that is when the problem happens. For me, that is the biggest problem. When I think that, okay, before I sleep, I'll finish, my quality of japa is very bad. Because I say, okay, I'll do 2 rounds now, then I'll do 4 rounds later. So it's the problem. So, but if we specify a time and stick to the time and be committed to that, then the number of rounds get completed and the quality also is much, much better. That is to do with sadhana. Then again, like what is in prioritize? There could be 100 to do things in your life, but do only things which are very important. Declutter your mind. Whichever is not important is not important. It's okay. Let go of it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to do certain things. Priority is priority. Krishna's priority. Because if we have too many things on our plate, it's naturally difficult. Like what I was saying, 24 hours only we have. right? So please prioritize, please declutter your mind, analyze. You are your best judge. So analyze what are the activities, what are the to-do things which are important in your life. Anything which is not letting you do a sadhana properly is harmful. Anything which is not taking you towards Krishna is not good. Okay, so please declutter. Of course, most of us are grihasthas. We are all working, studying, and all that. So those responsibilities will be there. So primary responsibilities we cannot ignore. But if there are other simple things which tell you those are signs of over endeavoring or doing something which is unnecessarily pushing yourself to do something which will drain you, take your time, energy, and all that, it's better to let go. So that's why I meant declutter your mind. Another thing which really helps me is to keep my place or the ambience in such a way that it reminds me of Krishna. So we can have many Krishna pictures, deity pictures, one, or it's very nice to have posters. Like for example, in my desktop, if I say something, did you chant your japa? Or in your phone page, screensaver, how many rounds did you do? Did you read? Something like that, which will not only Krishna pictures, something which keeps reminding you of how important it is to be consistent. Everywhere, small post-its. We have our fridge, and on the fridge we can, so many times we write grocery list and stick right on the fridge. We all do. We have so many things to buy, tomato, carrot, this. But we can also write, that we have to read 2 pages of Prabhupada books, or I have to read half an hour, something like that. So those things will help us, because they're like, okay, even if we subconsciously, are more engrossed in something else, but if we do something, if we have post-its everywhere, the place where we cook. So when we write, in the place where we cook in our kitchen, we can write, this is Radha Rani's kitchen. You're cooking for the pleasure of Sri Radha Krishna. So if the whole mood when you cook changes. So you don't cook for your sense gratification, you cook really for the pleasure of Sri Radha and Krishna. So like that, please, keep post-its, keep quotations, or keep famous writings, all those which will help you. And Sukirti Mataji once told us that she used to have one note in her kitchen that used to say, this is not important. So whenever she used to tell us that whenever I used to get worked up, I will go see that note. So that note will tell me this is not important. What is important is our relationship with Krishna and how do we handle that. So that again, so we can use this, creatively, whatever works. For me, this works. It could work. It might, for you, something else will work. So please find out, how to constantly remind you that you're supposed to be doing Krishna consciousness and not this. If your phone can remind you, if phone is your major distraction, put so many reminders in your phone in all possible ways. Okay, so if daydreaming happens, I also go into one daydreaming. Sometimes I just stare at the walls and do nothing. Okay, so that time the more the quotes there and more post-its there or more deity pictures, all that helps. These are the few tips I thought will help everybody. So this is the sadhana card. So all of you, I am sure you all will have your mentors. Please, if they would have given you. If you are not aware, please speak to them and get the sadhana card filled. So basically, the ultimate power of consistency is that you get to attract Krishna if you're consistent. He will be in your grip if you're consistent. So consistency will give you Krishna. Consistency is the key. Consistency is everything. So finally, I would like to end the session by quoting Prabhupada. Prabhupada used to say, simple living and high thinking. Keep your life as simple as possible. Thoughts as high as possible. So he used to say, have a very simple living. Don't over endeavor. Do things which are favorable for Krishna consciousness. So if we have simple living and high thinking, our life won't be chaotic. Okay, adult life won't be so miserable. And chaotic is not being chaotic is one thing. It will also turn favorable for our devotional service. So like what Prabhupada said, simple living and high thinking is the crux. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like to thank the entire IYS team for giving me this chance. I mean, not that I'm eligible to speak about it, not that I'm somebody who's consistent, who show up every single day. I chose this only because for my own personal improvement. Speaking about all this, I will also start inculcating all these in my day-to-day sadhana. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much, Lalita. It was such a amazing session. Lot of example, like from the scriptures as well as real-time example, devotees practicing AC now at this generation, and the practical tips, so many things. It was so amazing the way you went through step by step. Yeah, so it was so amazing and it was so helpful for me personally. I felt like so many tips and so many, like a baby step, one by one, like do this, do that. So I'm sure if we can, implement it and make a checkpoint of those things, so I'm sure we can become consistent in practicing. And thank you so much, Mataji. Very useful and able.
Thank you. Thank
Our
you.
calls, Mataji. It's a wonderful session. So we are getting very nice comments, feedback. So yes, I'm sure it would benefit all of us. If there's any question, you can ask now. Anybody has any question? Yeah, Menaka is there, so I'm just unmuting you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, நான் தமிழ்லயே கேக்குறேன் மாதாஜி. மாதாஜி, இப்போ நம்ம வந்து நினைக்கிறோம், எனக்கு தெரியுது என் மிஸ்டேக் என்னன்றதெல்லாம் எனக்கு தெரியுது, நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறது என்னோட மிஸ்டேக் நான் அக்செப்ட் பண்றேன். பட் அதை வந்து நான் இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கும் போது என்னால ஒரு நாள் பண்ண முடியுது, ஆனா அடுத்த நாள் என்னால பண்ண முடியறது இல்ல. அந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு நிறைய பிரேக்கப் வருது. எனக்கு என்ன சொல்றதுன்னே தெரியல. எனக்கு என்னோட சாதனா வந்து அவ்வளவு கரெக்டாலாம் போறது கிடையாது.
ஓகே, எனக்கு சோ நீங்க என்ன சொல்ல வரீங்கன்னா, உங்களுக்கு தெரியுது நீங்க கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்டா இல்லன்னு, பட் ஆனா அதை இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ண முடியல, அதை கரெக்ட் பண்ண முடியலன்னு சொல்றீங்க. கரெக்டா? இதுதான் உங்க क्वेश्चन இல்லையா? ஆமா. நான் வந்து இந்த செஷன்லயும் சொன்னேன், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷன். சோ நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் எப்போ நீங்க வந்து யூ ரியலைஸ் தட் யூ ஆர் நாட் கன்சிஸ்டன்ட், அதிலே யூ டேக்கன் தி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் and you are accepting also. Second step also is over. Third thing is to take help. Take help from devotees. உங்களுக்கு சீனியரா நீங்க யாரோட கிளாஸஸ் அட்டெண்ட் பண்றீங்களோ, யார் உங்க மென்டரோ, அவங்க கிட்ட போய் பேசுங்க. அதுதான் சொல்றேன், association is the only solution. If you've identified that's the problem, association is the solution. Association of your seniors, association of your fellow devotees. இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, டிவோட்டி ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, அவங்க கிட்ட பேசுங்க. ஓகே, அப்படி இல்லையா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டண்டா முதல்ல உங்களோட மென்டர் கிட்ட கண்டிப்பா பேசணும். அவங்க கிட்ட உங்களோட ப்ராப்ளம் பர்சனல் லெவல்ல யூ கேன் டாக். ஏன் பண்ண முடியல அப்படிங்கறது நீங்க உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரீசன் இருக்கும் இல்லையா? அஃப்கோர்ஸ் இந்த ஃபோரம்ல நம்ம அதை டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண முடியாது, உங்களுக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கும் டு ஸ்பீக். பட் ஆனா உங்களோட மென்டர் கிட்ட யூ வில் பி ஏபிள் டு ஓபன் யுவர் ஹார்ட் அண்ட் டெல். யாருமே there's no fear to think that I will be judged. Devotees will never judge you. They are very nice. Devotees are not judgmental. Whereas நீங்க வெளியில பாத்தீங்கன்னா outside world, whatever you say, people will judge you. ஆமா. ஆனா இங்க வந்து devotees will not judge you. அவங்க என்ன சொன்னாலும் நம்ம நல்லது தான் சொல்றோம். ஒண்ணு. இன்னொன்னு உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட போங்க, ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க. ஆர் இது நானும் என் ஃப்ரெண்டும் பண்ணுவோம் ஆக்சுவலி. சோ என் ஃப்ரெண்ட் சொன்னாங்க, நான் வந்து காலைல 5 o'clock, நாங்க எங்க ரெண்டு பேருக்குமே ஐ ஹேவ் a small baby, she also has a small baby. சரிங்களா? சோ நைட் வந்து it's difficult for us to sleep early and get up early. So she said, I'm trying, Lalita, I'm trying to wake up at 5 o'clock. I used to tell Nanda, எனக்கு எழுந்திக்கிறது கஷ்டமா, கண்ணு எரியுது, எழுந்திக்க கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. She said, okay, கொஞ்சம் புஷ் பண்ணி பாரு. So then what I thought, okay, Nanda's doing at 5 o'clock, so நம்மளும் எழுந்து 5 மணிக்கு. So I said, நான் உனக்கு அலாம், இப்ப நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எழுந்தேனா நான் உனக்கு கால் பண்றேன், நீ எழுந்தேனா நீ எனக்கு கால் பண்ணு. Because that's why you need friends. Okay. So, and I'm saying example work ஆனது சொல்றேன். So, என் ஃப்ரெண்ட் 5 மணிக்கு எழுந்திருப்பாங்கன்னு அவங்க கால் பண்ணாங்க, சில நாள் வந்து நான் கால் பண்ணேன். So, like that we used to motivate each other. Ultimately, all we have is each other for us. So, association உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருச்சு, நீங்க கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்டா இல்ல அப்படின்னா association. இன்னொரு ஒரு விஷயம் என்னன்னா anarthas and apradas, offenses. Are we committing offenses is very important thing. That will again, offenses are like a mad elephant which will destroy our bhakti lata krupa. Offenses na, offenses to holy name, offenses to devotees, offenses to deities. Idellame, there are 10 offenses no in holy names. Adu neenga paathukinga, please go check that. So adu paarenga. So நம்ம offenses இருந்துட்டு கண்டினியூவா பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தோம்னா நமக்கு வந்து கன்சிஸ்டன்சி பண்றது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் தான். So check that also if you're doing anything like that, or pray for it. Okay. Or pray to Krishna na offenses panna kudadu, I want to be consistent. You pray hard, எல்லாத்துக்குமே solution Krishna தான். So pray பண்ணுங்க, Krishna கிட்ட pray பண்ணுங்க and please take association from your seniors, guidance from your seniors, association from your friends. இதுல ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு?
இல்ல மாதாஜி.
சோ பர்சனலா உங்களுக்கு டீடைல்ஸ் சொன்னாதான் அவங்களால ஹெல்ப் பண்ண முடியும் இல்லையா? இப்போ வந்து நீங்க எனக்கு டீடைல்ஸ் ஏன் பண்ண முடியலங்கிறது வந்து டீடைல்ஸ் எனக்கு தெரியாது. சோ பட் ஆனா உங்க மென்டர் கிட்ட நீங்க சொல்ல முடியும். So you personally open your heart and speak. They will help you. And pray to Krishna that I have to, if at all I do any apradas and anarthas, please adella reduce aanu na panna kudadu appdi continuously pray and ask devotees to pray for you. Namba pray பண்றதை விட Krishna devotees prayers are more powerful. அவங்க ப்ரே பண்ணா கிருஷ்ணா நிஜமா உடனே கேட்பாரு. நம்ம ப்ரே பண்ணா கேட்க மாட்டாரு, சம்டைம்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ண வைப்பாரு. ஆனா அவங்க ப்ரே பண்ணா உடனே சாங்ஷன் பண்ணுவாரு. So when you always pray for the other person, it will happen immediately when compared to when you pray for yourself. That's why we all keep telling, please pray for me. In ISKCON, why we tell, please pray for me, Mataji, please pray for me, Prabhuji, please pray for me, please keep me in your prayers, because Krishna will listen to their prayers immediately. Fast tracker. Okay, so please speak to your mentor, pray to Krishna, ask devotees to pray for you. You will definitely be successful. You will become more consistent.
Okay, Mata. Thank you, Mata.
Thank you.
Anybody has anything? Thank you very much, Lalita.
Thank you.
Enlightening session. We can all try to implement whatever we heard, then we can also get benefited. So see you all for yet another session next Saturday at 6:30.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for your patient listening. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.